Hello and welcome back to Forge of Champions Day 3 as we are kicking it off with Bulldog versus Hybrid. And Hybrid were able to get game 1. We're sticking to the script here where the team in from the open bracket gets the game 1.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if Bulldogs can fight back or if we're going to get our first 2-0 of this entire tournament, because so far every game has been very competitive. Every series has gone all the way.
The thing that Bulldog really needs to change, though, is they need a style that fits what the jungler is trying to do. The Rek'Sai, Lucian, Braum early game aggression didn't really work for them. They couldn't capitalize it. They couldn't push it far enough. They had all the tools to go aggressive, but they didn't utilize it effectively enough. They need something that can survive off of control. More mid-game centric comp. Things like Lissandra, where you can make more aggressive team fighting plays, but you can still build it off of picks through the early game.
Alrighty, well, we are in 2 picks and bans as we have ourselves the Riven and the Kai'Sa getting taken away. Blyce, once again, kind of getting target banned out as the Aurelia is going to be taken away. Maybe we see the Vladimir this time. You did say that was kind of the trifecta last year. They opted in for the Jarvan instead, but I have to see whether or not they think for that was just too much for them to deal with.
So yeah, it's the Akali, it's the Akali and the Vladimir that I really want to see banned here.
Yeah.
If either of those get through, then it's an issue. But we know that Ego Speed has been spamming that Rise, so he could go back to that. He seemed decent on it until he started to get the pressure put on him. We know he's happy to sit in the side lane and scale, like we said, slowly expanding Ego in the side lane.
To me, it felt like Ego wasn't actually the problem in that game. I feel like he played fine on the Rise. It was like you said, it was the snowball. Yeah.
He had a timer, and his team couldn't play to his timer, and yet couldn't play to their own.
Yeah.
And it created this kind of... It had a personality disorder where it couldn't tell what it wanted to be, that composition. And Hybrid ended up just capitalizing on it with a clear, clean win condition. And easy to capitalize on as well when it's just be alive at 25 minutes. Oh, you win a team fight now.
All right, well, the Jarvan's going to be picked up here for Bulldog. We can see whether or not it's going to go for Ego Speed or Kunil.
Something that's more tanky, can survive in those later game fights a lot easier, but it's still very good at getting early aggression down, getting those early kills into the lanes. And that's exactly why the Jarvan is so high priority right now. It's good early, it's good mid, it's good late.
Alrighty, well, not going to combo up with the Galio. The Demacian Death Bowl, we're not going to see it right here. So you want to take that away. He even had a very good game on this as well, was getting some good engages early. That's Blyce once again get his hands onto the Vladimir.
This is the 2 members that won them that crucial fight. The four-man taunt from the Galio on top of the Hemo Plague, disengaging so many people, is what won Hybrid that fight that got them the Baron, got them the game. And so they're going back to what they saw already worked for them. We know that this Vladimir could even be switched to the mid lane, so there's still potential for some flexibility in this comp. So Hybrid, decent setup early.
Alrighty, so the Rise going to get locked in. Ego going to probably be taking that. They might give it to Coward in the mid lane, but that Zoe, remember, is still open, so potential for him. Now that the Nautilus has been banned away, might just want to opt back into what we know is comfortable and what works for Coward, but we'll see how that goes, because you can always just send the Vladimir into the Zoe as well. As soon as the bubble lands, you just turn into a puddle.
Yeah, part of me just wants to see... Part of me really wanted to see Koki's classic Vayne, but they are going to take away that Sivir. And I do like the takeaway because it takes away the scaling simple ADC, and it's buying into more of a scaling comp of their own. This unfortunately looks like it's going to go really late. We're not going to see much action early, but all the same, I need to see if they can get the Jarvan to start snowballing. If the Jarvan can have a good early game, then all these late game scaling carries start hitting a lot earlier. They start hitting 5-10 minutes earlier than they would do normally with the gold lead they have, and then they can take over from there. Rek'Sai, very similar story. So it's all down to the junglers and how they impact these lanes.
Alrighty, well, the Rek'Sai will be the lock in here as they ban away the Karma. I expect to see Dragdar get his pool kind of focused out now. Take away the likes of like the Vayne. You could also look to take away some of the other champs, but for the moment they're looking into the mid lane. Gonna ban away that Victor. Remember, the Rise is a flex. It can go into the mid, it can go into the top.
So if you were to ask anybody what is the most classic Sivir counter pick, as you said, it's Vayne, and that's slipped through so far. So I'd like to see that banned away by Bulldog, and maybe it's not in Dragdar's pool, but all the same, it's still such a good scaling pick that buys again into the composition that they're playing. It's set up even more effectively by the fact that you've got a melee aggressive playmaking support that can deny and disengage at the same time. So Galio can really do it all in that lane.
Alrighty, well, one more ban here as the LeBlanc gets taken away. The Cassiopeia, or some mid laners starting to get their focus, their pinch onto the pools, and I mean, I look at those picks, and Victor, Cassiopeia typically are things that sometimes get picked into that Rise.
Yeah.
So that could just be Coward's Rise going in the mid lane. And again, Ego Speed, we saw him in the UKLC in the regular season take the Jarvan into the top lane. So they haven't even shown what they're throwing anywhere at this point, apart from that Sivir is definitely going into the AD carry role.
Yeah.
You were talking about the counter pick of the Vayne into the Sivir.
I mean, it had to be.
Dragdar gets it.
It had to be because they want to save the counter pick for the top lane / mid lane with the saving the flexibility of the Vladimir. And now that they've got the Vayne, they're leaving that last pick open for the counter pick. They don't have to worry so much about it wouldn't be taken away, so unfortunately can't really get a power pick here. But all the same, it's just a good scaling pick that buys into the same win condition that Vladimir and Galio are showing.
And what did I say, man? That's definitely going to be a Jarvan top lane for Ego Speed. They get themselves an early aggressive jungler with the Elise. Gonna have to see whether or not Bulldogs can play for that early power better in this game, because if Elise falls off, which he does do, if this game goes late, Elise is just a cocoon bot at that point.
So you really got to play the Kirei style, the style that got Kirei known, got him to #1 in solo queue so often. The Moby Boots Rush Elise. Lane to lane to lane. You have to take over. You have to make those plays. Otherwise, you're a glorified cannon minion.
Yeah. Worth a lot more gold.
Yeah. It's that's the unfortunate thing. You don't want to be worth more gold when you're a glorified cannon minion. So the issue with the Elise is if you can't start to take over, then how are you going to be ganking a Vladimir consistently when you can just pull out? The Zoe is something more exploitable for her early, though, because Zoe struggles to control the waves through the early game. The Paddle Star doesn't really do enough damage, so a Rise landing all those E's on the wave, forcing it into Zoe's face, can give the Elise the ability to capitalize. And if you can get the Rise ahead, that's where the Rise can then start 1-3-1ing, and this comp can potentially look to use that as a win condition.
I mean, you see Dragdar, you see Diablo both running that cleanse, so lots of respect to the CC, to the pick potential early.
Yeah.
That could cost Hybrid this game, but again, they're playing into that point where they go later into the game. They look very comfortable. Bulldog this time have opted into some things that do supply them with a little bit more late game as well. You've got the Sivir, you've got the Rise to work with as your kind of late game damage dealers.
Yeah.
You have kind of just very easy engage with the flag drag into the dunk by Ego Speed. So I'm liking the comp here for both of them, but coming off from what we saw from Hybrid in game 1, if they can stall out, they're going to be very comfortable. And Vayne isn't even a late game carry anymore. She's just a 2-item carry. Once you get the blade into the Guinzoos, you can just fly full defensive at that point, and it doesn't matter.
So the issue that I have with this composition from Bulldog is the fact that it's still the same issues. The jungle was a very controlling setup where he wanted to get the vision down, get control of the dragon, get control of the scuttles, consistently trying to eke out an advantage that way through basically out-farming your opponent. That doesn't work. Even worse when you're playing Elise. The upside, though, is they do have a better scaling AD carry in the Sivir. They have the Rise in the mid lane and a Jarvan in the top lane, who is good at pretty much all phases of the game, like we said. Does scale off a little bit towards the later game. So they've got a better amount of mid game with this composition. But it still doesn't matter if they play the same style they did last time around.
Well, it's going to be on then to adapt going into game 2 of this series. But for Hybrid, just more of the same. If they play to deny them early, they get into that stage where they start to play to their win conditions and they recognize their own win conditions. That's when they're going to be very, very comfortable. So we'll have to keep our eyes on Hybrid coming into this game, because honestly, I was very impressed with that game 1 by them. I don't like to say these teams are write-offs because we don't know what's going to come into them. There were so many teams in the Open tournament. I wasn't able to watch any of the Open tournament because I was off doing other things, unfortunately. But, so when I get to see new teams, new logos, new faces as well, it's really nice to kind of then go, oh, actually, they're able to stand up to some of our teams. Obviously, Bulldogs, though, this is very much a matter of bouncing back. You know, they're in that relegation. They are staring, getting knocked out of the UK, down the barrel right now, and Hybrid are one of the teams who are standing on the other end of that gun. They're the ones looking to take their spot.
The scary thing for me right now is I said that Hybrid probably have the best chance of taking down a current UKLC team in the fact that they're facing Bulldog here. But all the same, I don't even think they're the best open qualifier team that we have. And the fact that Bulldog is struggling against Hybrid means that they're likely to struggle against those other performers as well. So they need to turn this around. They need to prove that they are improving with these roster changes to then be able to take down the other teams that we think might even be better. Like looking for Org seems like a really strong, experienced roster with a lot of experience from a bunch of UK tournaments. So I'm excited to see them later. But Bulldog need to prove that they can take down Hybrid to even hold a candle to all these other teams that they'll have to face and go through.
So who do you think is the best open team?
I do think it's looking for Org right now.
You think it's looking for Org?
Yeah, I do. I think they've got a plethora of experience from other tournaments. Like I said, they've had members who have topped other tournaments consistently. They've got Treleep, who has played in the UK League a long time ago and has all that experience under his belt as well as a leader/shot caller. So I'm looking forward to seeing them in our second series of the day against Barrage. But all the same, it's currently a Bulldog Hybrid, and Hybrid have proven themselves to at least be a competitive team in this environment at the start. And if they can continue that, if they can prove now that they can take down Bulldog, then already they've just proved they're worthy of being in the UK League.
Well, when you met me, did I have my crazy silver hair?
Yeah, I believe that was, what was that? Like, was it ICC a few years ago or something?
Might have been. I don't know. I can't remember when we first met.
Yeah, we casted the International College Cup in like 2016.
Oh, yeah, because that was just around the time I first did it.
Yeah, you turned up in your little mini.
I've always been, oh yeah, I had my mini that time. I've always been someone who likes to experiment with my hair. I've had a very good hairdresser for it. Her name's Vicky. She's done my hair for 7 years. She comes to my house. We have a nice little deal. She
long-term relationship.
She cuts my hair nice and cheap. Yeah. But I messaged her because I saw myself on camera in that last game. I was like, bloody hell, my hair looks messy. I need a haircut.
Mate?
So I sent her a message, like, hey Vicky, do you want to come cut my hair? She's like, I'm retiring, Jake. She's not even that young. She just wants a different job. So I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I've had the same hairdresser for 7 goddamn years. So I need to find a new hairdresser. But also, I think maybe it's time for me to find a new hairstyle. Because I've been a hairstyle, I get bored with my hair. I like to mess around.
We need to do a Twitter poll now for
so
your
this is
hairstyle.
what, this is what I want Twitter to get involved. So use the hashtag #ForgeOfChampions at me so I can see it. If you can find a picture of me, just edit some hair on me. Edit a new style. I want to see like different hairstyles.
I want to see you with a pompadour now.
Yeah, someone edit a pompadour on top of me. I don't know. I want to see some hairstyles. So yeah, just make sure you at me with some hairstyles because, I mean, you got quite long hair. I don't think I'd suit long hair. Maybe.
I mean,
do you reckon I'd rock a man bun look?
Oh God, please no.
I would not rock a man. I think I'd look better with short hair.
You're kind of guy who wears khakis and a fanny pack with a man bun.
I could cut with a fanny pack. Have all my.
You go and rehearse slam poetry.
I just have a Lemsibs in there. Dablo actually finds out one, gets himself the bubble on. Goes up with a repel. The paddle star's not going to be enough. The chilling smite into the flash and first blood for Zyko.
What is it with Elise in the UK League? And every single time they try and take a scuttle, they die. Every single time. Do you remember the amount of times this happened last season as well with Eminem? I think it was 2 games in a row. They tried to play Elise. The exact same thing happened. And now first blood going over to Zyko. And now he can look to get a snowball rolling. And he's already heading down to bot side. But Bulldog are pushing up.
Yeah, closing in here. They do have that taunt to work with as knock up by Zyko. Does connect onto one. The cat's low. And Zyko having such a good game too. Hybrid just popping off early.
Second time this series that the bot lane's been out of position and has been punished for it. You know, you were talking about hairstyles. Currently that bot lane looks like it's been dragged through a bush backwards.
Well, Blyce actually having a bit of rough start here versus Ego Speed, but Ego Speed back onto Comfort, back onto this Jarvan. He's looked very good on this as the flag drag comes through. They actually might just look for the full kill here. Blyce has the ability to flash away, and Ego just chases him, smacks him in the back of the head for the kill, and Blyce goes down.
Gives him the slam, gets that kill, and now Bulldog, they have one back, and it is in that top lane matchup, but we know that Vladimir is a scaling champion, so he's still looking to just stall this one out and get back into it. But now, what Ego Speed needs to do, the fact that he's got a lead in top lane, he's got this first kill, he needs to snowball that advantage into mid lane. Look to get a kill onto Diablo, look to get Calward ahead. Now both side lanes are ahead at that point, you can 1-3-1 effectively, and you've got the wave clear from the Sivir to be able to hold up a 1-3-1 decently.
Diablo, you can see leaning into that side of the map where Zyko is. Very, very comfortable, not giving over the opening for Canale to actually find that kill, as he doesn't have his cleanse available, but he's fine, he's going to stay back. Dragdar in this bot lane, down in CS, but with that assist, should be kind of close-ish to where Koki is on the gold front.
Now it's fairly it's slowed down a bit since those first few kills, but all the same, Zyko having those 2 early kills, having this early advantage, when he goes back to base, he will have all that gold he needs to be able to 1v1 Cunil at almost any point for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's the base. I'm curious to see what he gets on this base, because he got 2 kills. He's got more camps as well than Cunil, as the base completes, and he's Red Smite.
And Corfelds, or...
he started a refillable. There you go.
There you
gets
go.
the Warhammer. Okay.
And a Ruby Crystal as well, so he's big money Zyko at the minute.
Big money Zyko. I don't know why, but that sounds like something else. Like a gangster name. Big money Zyko.
That is his gangster name now.
Oh, Coward, actually. Does do a fair amount of damage to Diablo. Flashes away. Don't think that Cocoon was going to hit, but respect flash by Diablo.
He even missed the Cocoon by aiming. Like, if he aimed forwards, you could be like, yeah, he's going to walk into it. But he aimed backwards thinking he'd dodge into it, and Diablo just flashed it instantly.
Oh, Dragdar actually uses that cleanse instantly as soon as the cat lands the hook. Bubble does connect, and actually lots of damage onto Coward.
Having gone cleanse in the matchup, he doesn't have the ignite for the aggression you normally see from a Zoe, but having the cleanse does give him a lot more safety. We said about the Elise being the pressure point, and respecting the Elise a lot by using the cleanse, respecting her even more by flashing on that last gank as well. So Diablo is happy to survive until that mid game, and we know what Zoe can do come the mid game.
I mean, not taking cleanse into a Rise Elise is just straight up disrespect. So I can respect them. I can respect them doing that. You know,
not just Rise Elise as well. It's like it's the Thresh additionally who's looking to try and catch you out whenever you jump
Zyko
forwards.
might be in trouble here. Has got that Cocoon as the rest of the team are coming in, but we're looking towards the chase here into that mid lane as they're looking for Zyko. Gets the tunnel off, tries to get the knock-up, judges away on the Cocoon. Realm Warp's available. He is available. He misses the repel, but Ego Speed's coming in, does have his ultimate, can look for the Cataclysm. Not going to find that mark though. Now we look towards the bot lane as the cat lands the hook. Heaven gets a 2-man taunt off, and Dragdar ignited, jumps away. The cat's low as Heaven chases him down. Can't quite find the kill, and the cat makes his way out to safety.
And it was a really nice spell shield by Koki to get it perfectly in time with the taunt from the Galio to be able to keep DPSing down Dragdar, force him out of the fight entirely, and it saves the cat in the process because they even tried to turn on him, but couldn't get the damage down.
I mean, the flash being down for the Heathen's really big as well now, because that taunt flash that you can use for so much setup is just going to be denied, as now Koki has been spotted out onto Zyko. Got Cunil with him. The flash into the knock-up. Dodges away the Cocoon. Cunil having a rough go of it. The Void Rush is going to be blocked up by the spell shield, and Koki gets double buffs.
And the shutdown gold on him as well. And after he's been pressured out in the bot lane thus far, he's been losing the matchup even though they've been winning on trades. Having the double buffs and that shutdown gold suddenly turns it, and maybe he's going to get the control he needs to be able to push out, give his team control of the Dragon, give his team control of the River, and get Cunil back into the game because he's so far down in CS and gold. He needs that ability to get some control back.
All right, well, the base goes through for Ego Speed. He's got that teleport, so he can always look to join up. Blyce still on cooldown on his teleport for the moment, so it's a bit of a ways off. As we then turn our attention towards this mid lane, Diablo got a proto belt. That's just going to do a lot of damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's not as bad as like how many redemptions you end up seeing from Zoe.
That feels great when you're playing Zoe and you just get redemptions.
Do you know what feels worse? When you're the bot laner that's playing against it and she keeps on redemption on your opposing bot lane, and it's like, well, I guess I just lose, thanks. I've been in a game where I was playing support and I've seen a Zoe do 3 different redemptions on the bot lane throughout just to turn the laning phase entirely by not even moving any further than like the pixel rush.
That's lame. That's really lame.
She didn't even come to my lane, she just ruined it.
You guys good there? I mean, it's 8 auto attacks to clear out the vision. That's a lot of time.
You got to double wrap the
That's
brush
the real,
for safety.
you know, this is the real, 4D chess play here.
Yeah, that's the...
It's the bait because they're going to sit to clear out the wards.
Then you're just going to see
and then suddenly
double
the
TP.
cat's going to flash hook and the double TPs come in, and suddenly you've lost 1 member for a lot invested.
Yeah, Zyko can't get anything there. It's you use the E and he doesn't even have the flash available. Ego Speed just happy to skirt the wall and not fear that big land shark.
Does have to be a little careful though, because Cunil chasing onto him, but Zyko able to make his way out nice and safe. I mean, that play there reminds me of, I used to play the Gunu. So if anyone doesn't know by now, I don't know how because I talk about it all the bloody time. I used to be a old Galio player back before rework. I loved Galio. And my friend was a Nunu main. So we used to do Gunu, where we would buy ZZ Rock portals, put them in the same bush, and then just sit in that bush and wait for someone to clear out the portal. And then I would press R, he would press R, and they would die. It was great.
Instant death, yeah.
The best one was when multiple people came. Like a whole team came to clear out 2 ZZ Rots, and there's a Galio and a Nunu sitting in there.
It's not quite as stylish as the teleporting a fully charged Nunu ult on top of somebody with Rise.
No, that is. I want to know, can you like deliver a Malphite ulting? So if you time it like pixel perfectly and the Malphite ults in,
I think it doesn't count because he's unstoppable. He can't be displaced.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And it would count as I think it would count as a displacement.
Yeah, it would be. That's a shame because that'd be really cool. You know, you're sitting there and suddenly this portal and you just get knocked up because the Malphite kind of comes through the portal. But
yeah.
Anyway, let's focus on the game here for a second. As
you could probably teleport a Nico ult.
Yes, you could. Yes. You could. Zyko is able to get himself the Rift Herald. Now, Bulldog, they got the Rift Herald in game 1. And they they weren't able to use it to get plates, but they were able to get themselves a turret with it in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Have to see if Zyko decides to slap this down as teleport will be completed here. He goes speed, almost interrupts it. Can't quite get it. Now he might just pay with his life. Cataclysm into the Void Rush, and Blyce secures the kill. The plates are picked up, and Hybrid.
And it costs him a lot more than just a couple tower plates, as now no one is on this side of the map to stop this Rift Herald. This is likely to be the tower going down here. Look at where the rest of the members are. Calward's still mid. We've got Hunel on the Dragon. They're just losing first tower instantly, and already hyperscaling Vladimir is getting all this extra gold.
Hunel will be able to take down this Cloud Drake. Curious to see whether or not the turret will fall. Has a lot of resistances from the plates, but it's not going to matter. Blyce just got so much gold from that play. He got a kill, he got all his plates in his lane, and first turret blood as Kunil now wants to see if he can make a play happen. Hook does land onto Heaven, does have his taunt and the flash, tries to ult to Dragdar, gets away, the knockup's there, flashes out to safety, Justice Punch, and Heaven gets out alive.
Sometimes the shortest teleport is the best one, as he jumps just a couple hundred units, but by getting that a little bit of distance, that was all he needed to get away, and Heathen has to use his flash, but all the same, gets out alive. The issue I've got right now, though, is because of that double buffs for the bot lane, because look at how far Dragdar is now down in CS. And Koki, been given the control, been given the bot lane pressure for them to even get that dragon. We have to see how Hybrid try and get this bot lane back into it, because you know we know what Vayne can do when she's ahead, but when she's behind, it just feels like she barely tickles people and she can never get those 3 autos off.
Well, these plates are going to be falling off fairly soon. Has to see whether or not more can go down as Coward going for a trade versus Diablo will actually come out for the worst on that trade, as the Paddle Star also misses on the tail end. This is the Electrocute Zoe. It's been a while since I've seen this one. Most people opting into the area at the moment on Zoe.
Yeah, it's just that little bit of extra burst damage, and if you can start to make picks 2v2 with a Rek'Sai, it's definitely worth it, but not really had that pressure on Calward at any point. And unfortunately, Zyko, he's had some trouble since that first blood and that quick 1-2 gank mid and bot to really, river kill rather, straight into bot. He's had trouble forcing any plays, and he's always been just outside the range, but this might be the one. No, 3 people nearby.
No, the cat's making his way through. Coward does take a lot of damage and did have to flash. Diablo now with flash and cleanse is fairly comfortable, fairly safe on this Zoe.
This hurts a lot, though, for Dragdar right now, being down this far in CS and knowing that the Blade of the Rune King is now so expensive. That look at the difference here. It's a whole pickaxe and a dagger in difference, pretty much, and in strength between the 2 champions. And so Koki is now in a much better position to start a fight. If they can try and make a skirmish happen around this bot lane towards the dragon, that's where we're going to see the advantage really show itself.
Obviously, once he gets that Rage Blade, though, he will be...
But it's a case of, if Koki's already on 2.5 items by then, it's a lot harder to keep up with, and he's already down half an item.
Well, they are seeing if they can just put some kind of attention on 2-1 as Coward gets flash knocked up by Zyko. Lots of damage coming out with the Conqueror. He throws in, gets the kill. The bubble finds its mark by Diablo. Now he's chasing for the kill. Not going to need that paddle star because a double kill picked up for Zyko. You had questions about his more recent plays in this game. Looks like they're going to be answered.
Yeah, he seems really trigger happy on his flash. This time it works because Diablo make the collapse happen. Instantly, Blyce is moving. Instantly, Diablo is moving down with Hybrid. They get down there, and they land that bubble crucially to get him the kills. So Zyko walks out with 2 kills, but they trade the bot lane tower for it, feeding more gold into Koki. They're splitting sides of the map. And now Zyko versus Koki has to be the narrative we're looking at.
Right, as this turret goes down, I'm just having a little look at the replay, but I'm also having a look at Twitter and the messages that were sent to me. I mean, Zyko, this bubble, look at pop.
It gets popped by the bubble. It was really nice to land that through the wall, and Zyko just holding him in place long enough for Diablo to land it. And they walk out with a double kill for Zyko, but like we said, this Fed Rek'Sai versus the Sivir that's having all this gold injection. One of them is good now, one of them is good a lot better later, so it needs to be, we need to see Zyko transition his lead into a lead for the Vladimir, into a lead for the Zoe, whereas Koki just needs to survive until the late game, and we know he's going to be incredibly relevant. You were saying?
I'm just looking at, I've had one edit of my face superimposed onto 4. Reclamation says he'd like to see me with a pink bowl cut.
Okay. Sort of like K-pop style.
I would not like to see me with a pink bowl cut, but I'm sure if someone wants to edit it, they can see if it does somehow suit me. But Blyce getting jumped onto here, throws out the Hemo Plague, the flash, the blood pool comes down as he's running low. Does get the healing Kneel with the Venomous Bite will be able to secure that kill.
This is the play that Bulldog needed to get them back into it. They were losing all around the map. They were bleeding other than in this bot lane. And they needed something to get the rest of the map ahead. And now Ego Speed, going to get this gold from the tower. They're getting those kills so they can start being able to contest fights. They're still not really doing enough with this pick potential. They're down in gold. And now with Hybrid taking this dragon away as well, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, actually might be able to see if they can get the damage on, because obviously you get the attack speed zero from both the Spider and from the
It's even better if you give your spiders an attack speed steroid.
I couldn't remember the name. Skittering Frenzy is the name of it.
It's a massive attack speed boost for both you and them, yeah. All the same, they're going to try and trade this bot lane tower. They've gotten 2 in the top side. They need to get something back.
Coward going in onto Diablo. They're looking to chase. The flash comes down. Does still have that cleanse to work with, and Diablo. Paddle Stars in. Does still pretty get it. Comfortable trade. He's able to make his way out as the turret will go down for Hybrid in this bot lane. Look at that vision split diagonally down the map. All red here for Hybrid on the bot side, but the top side all blue for Bulldog.
Now, though, we can see if Hybrid can transition this lead into the top side around this 20-minute mark and utilize that to then take pressure around the Baron. We know that once this Rage Blade comes through, Vayne can absolutely melt Barons near instantly, especially if they could get a mounted dragon. Unfortunately not on the table right this second. But if they can get any kind of control around the top side of the map, they are going to shred it to pieces. Bulldog are really going to struggle to contest it as well because of the massive disengage they have with the Vladimir, with the Galio. They can't really get through that easily unless they rise teleport on top of it. And that might just be an overcommit. So I need to see Hybrid utilize the vision and transition that up towards the top side of the map. They're trying to do that off this reset. As you can see, that's where Zyko is going. That's where Diablo is going.
Well, they are slowly clearing out some of these wards that have been placed down by Bulldog, but if they want to, you know, remain in control, don't want a sneaky Baron to happen from Bulldog, that Hybrid need to find some kind of way to deal with it. But for the moment, Dragdar has been stuck on to mid lane clearing duty, and until that Rage Blade is going to get picked up, they don't really want to fight with him.
Yeah, it's only really trying to stall out the game, and it really works for both of them right now. It works for everybody pretty much apart from Kunal, who is going to just become completely irrelevant and unfortunately hasn't really had enough relevance. The fact that you can see the Sork boots rather than the Moby boots kind of says it all. He never really had that advantage to be able to force these plays consistently, and it meant that because of that first blood, he was pretty much taken out of the game and never really able to give Bulldog enough of an early game.
again, it's just been, you know, they picked for this early game, and there's been glimmers of hope. Let's not be wrong here. You know, you've still got Koki, who's quite comfortable on his pick, but Zyko looking for it. The Paddle Star not going to find its mark onto Cat, and Hybrid are just clearing out. They light up this Baron area red once again, and I have to really sing praises here for Hybrid because their vision control has been excellent so far, as Coward now going to get proto-belted on, uses the Rune Prison,
really nice phase
gets
rush,
himself the
though.
phase rush off, a Lantern to safety, will be able to walk away. But going back to just the vision control,
yeah,
so good here for Hybrid.
And they know exactly when to group up and force the vision in the right areas, and it's giving them the control to try and find plays like that onto Calvert. He does still get away due to the phase rush, but if they can find perhaps like the Cat or Koki in that position, they're not going to get away so easy.
Well, the vision is now being contested. The dance has started up here as Bulldog do walk in, clear out some of the vision, but Hybrid just move their way back in. And actually, look at the start up the Baron here. You can see that Coward is around that Baron, around the Dragon Pit, does have teleport, but they don't know it's happening quite yet. Diablo does have that here, where Bubble does throw out, the Lantern will spot them out, and Hybrid do step away. They tried for the Baron, respectfully walk out, don't want to give up too much.
But they lost control of mid here. They're going to lose the mid lane tower because they overforced without control of mid. Whenever you go for Baron, you need to have the mid lane wave wherever you want it, but you need to have it pushed deep, and the fact that the mid lane tower was already down, they had the opportunity to capitalize.
All Bubbles onto one, that's going to be a hook. Instant cleanse out by Dragdar. Ultimate comes from the Heathen to try and get himself a taunt onto multiple members. So Dragdar in the pit with ego speed, holds his life for a long time, but he will go down. A double kill being picked up for Koki as they try to get the kill. Zyko answers out, but here comes Bulldog. Here comes the UK representatives from the UKLC. They find 4 members of Hybrid.
Mate, they're both representatives of the UK.
I know, don't worry.
This isn't EU Masters anymore.
I'm on old storylines, dude.
But this is the same old story of, once again, though, the underdog, the open qualifier representative takes game 1, and now Bulldog, they get a huge 4-for-1 fight. They transition that now into a Baron that Zyko can't quite get in there. He needs to do a nice E-flash, but he can't really get through the flay of the Cat easily, and it's just going to mean the Baron goes over for free.
Yeah, Baron's going to fall. Zyko got spotted out, wasn't willing to put himself in a dangerous position, but they might just turn their attention towards getting this Baron. Let's have a little look at this fight again, because it was a pick started up here.
Yeah, and it's the stall potential. You can see that they all get zoned off up towards this top side. Ego speed, keeping Dragdar and Diablo both busy, and a really nice hook by the Cat to stop Blyce getting involved as well. And it means, all in all, that they can only get this 1 kill onto Ego speed on a fight that seemed to start so well for them.
All right, well, Mountain Drake goes over to Hybrid. I mean, you got to look at Dragdar. Still not got that Rage Blade. This fight would have been so different if he did have a Rage Blade. But
it's
you're looking at
2.5 items before the Rage Blade. This is what we said before. It's because Koki's got this much of an advantage.
Really starting to cost them at this point. Koki sitting comfortable as the wave clear's not quite there. He even does dump it away, gets pulled into the concussion. He's going to go down. Nice and easy kill.
Insta-death.
Just layer the CC perfectly. Bubble does land. So a Paddle Start onto Koki. Will force him a little bit low.
Well, the first Baron of the previous game did also go to Bulldog. They couldn't really get much off of it. They got pretty much 1 tower, and that was it, because Hybrid were able to stall so effectively. If we see a similar story here, maybe they can wait for that Vayne to come online, but to be honest, they really needed this Baron to give that Vayne the injection of gold she needed, get to the Rage Blade, start getting those items adding up. As they find a kill here on the bot side.
Yeah, that is just going to be 1 picked up. The flag drag comes onto Zyko, but he's able to make his way out. Now Diablo steps forward. The wave is still there for the side of Bulldog to work with, but a Drowsy does land onto 1. Koki going to force it away. He's low HP for the moment. Paddle Star does have that portal jump coming up, but Diablo decides not to commit. The bubble's not going to find its mark here. The Hybrid, they find themselves a shutdown onto Coward. But Zyko's the one to get it.
Once again, though, another mistake while on this Baron power play for Bulldog, and is it going to be punished again? Once again, they only get 1 tower from it. They don't snowball this gold advantage like they should be doing. They're given all the tools to snowball time after time. They're just not capitalizing on it. We really need to see Koki show up big in these late game team fights. Otherwise, they're just giving Hybrid access to the late game.
Oh, Hybrid clearing out these Crab want to get their hands on some extra gold, want to get their hands on their vision. The Baron buff will be wearing off in 1 minute's time, which could just be enough for Hybrid to hold on. They didn't lose too much. They only lost 1 turret from the Baron play. This Rage Blade still not finished for Dragdar. I know we keep hitting on it. We're kind of, you know,
it's just Vayne isn't a champion without this item, yeah. It's literally just Vayne isn't a champion, and that's why they're nerfing the item to nerf Vayne. They're not nerfing Vayne at all.
I hate Phantom Hit. I hate Phantom Hit so much.
I think, yeah, that was the plan. Actually, I think they changed it now, so they're going to be nerfing the Q cooldown on when she ults.
The Phantom Hit on Vayne as well. Well, Phantom Hit on Rage Blade is going to apply...
yeah, they did that initially, but I think the change afterwards was they said that Vayne's Q cooldown is going down to 30% on rank 1 on her ult.
Oh, okay.
So it was 50% off when she's in ult, but now it's going to be 30, 40, 50. So
I remember
level 6.
When that change first came out, people were building like Essence Reaver Vayne.
Yeah.
And just go for max cooldown, like just so you could Q every second.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's like you only need to Q once and then stay invisible for maximum duration to be annoying enough in the fight. And then the rest of the team just capitalizes from the fact that no one can assassinate you because invisibility's fun. They learned that from Akali.
I find it fun.
I mean, I'm an
Evelyn
player.
You can't complain.
I can't complain. But we gave up invisibility until level 6, okay?
I mean, so did Vayne. I mean, actually, that's always been the case with Vayne.
We paid the sacrifice. We get to reap the rewards.
I mean, it's better than the 6 Sunfire Cake Twitch.
Yeah, I thought that was
Q max 6 Sunfire max Twitch, where you just sit and just walk around them in a fight and be like, that's my Penta.
That's like Season 1, like pre-Season 1 of stuff. I'm thinking like Season 2 mid lane Evelyn Alex each right now, where you just come out with invisibility with an instant stun and you one-shot anybody before they can even stop being stunned. It was so broken. They needed to gut that champion completely, and they've done it like 4 different times since then, but she still keeps finding relevance.
So, Knight's Bow's been put onto Blythe here. Rage Blade's finally been picked up by Dragdar.
Vayne's that useless that it's just like, Knight's Vow on the Vladimir, I don't care anymore.
I mean, like, he's going to tank up now so much for the Vlad. This Vlad is going to be really hard to kill now.
Yeah, but the thing is, think about that. The fact that the Vlad is going to be taking that much damage actually means that the Heathen's going to be taking a ton himself because he takes it as true. So, it's not protecting Dragdar. It's not allowing Dragdar to really succeed early, but he's putting the resources onto the current carry, which is Blyce, the guy who's going to be doing a ton of damage right now. I'd even argued that putting on Zyko is a good idea because he's going in so hard.
Well, the Cat's going to take a bubble and a little bit of poke from Diablo. Diablo maybe just fat-fingered the Zhonyas. Instantly has to cleanse and flash away. A massive mess up for Hybrid's mid laner. Might just cost them a lot. Koki takes a paddle star. So at least they get some kind of buyback here. But oh, Lord, that was not what Diablo wanted to do.
So he burns his stopwatch, his flash, and his cleanse off of the back of that. And maybe that inexperience
it's your
shining
curse, mate.
through.
Whenever you play, people fat-finger their Zhonyas. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. I'm cursing them. I have voodoo powers. This is what I do.
History, you know, doesn't lie.
I'm just spamming the Zhonya's button here, and it's voodoo affecting.
Yeah,
the
you have a
players.
wireless keyboard that randomly is connected to someone's computer. Alrighty, well.
Just get an action replay, and I'm sitting here with a keyboard in my lap.
Bulldogs do have vision control around Baron. There's a little bit from Hybrid, though. They do have some ability to contest as Bubble Bomb Diablo not going to actually connect onto anyone, so that assassination isn't quite available.
You know, it's thrown me off a couple times. Spectator, you can't see the bubble on the ground. All you can see is the seagulls.
Yeah, it's a known bug, but
yeah,
you know they're not.
There's a lot of those. I mean, Kha'Zix is one of them.
All the Squires are down here for Hybrid, so Bulldog just starting up this Baron and might not just be there in time
here as well. Zyko.
He's
this is
scared. The vision control is so key here. Does have the ability to spot people out. He knows it's going on. The hook's gone wide. He's way too late. And Diablo tries to find a paddle star. Hybrid just kind of caught doing nothing.
Jake, I'm sorry, but this looks like a game 3.
I mean, don't apologize. We've had lots of game 3s. It's exciting, and it shows that some of these teams, well, these open teams, are more evenly matched than You know, they're not
It's
just
definitely
getting
good to see a
stomped.
lot of competitive teams in the UK scene, 100%, but all the same, no team has been that convincing victor above the others. Even Diabolus, our second place team, the one that went to EU Masters, struggled and dropped a game, and it's just no one's quite had that decisive finish.
Yeah. Yeah, every team has dropped a game. We'll have to see if Bulldogs can use this second Baron effectively. They've got 3 minutes to work with. The bases are coming through for Hybrid, but they're still missing 2 members. I was praising their vision, and as soon as I start praising their vision, they stop using it.
I mean, you can't really get vision down against Baron. You're face checking far too much if that's the case. So these pretty much back-to-back Barons with very little time in between, just as it seemed like Hybrid had managed to get back onto the map and get any sort of vision down towards the bot side to get that Dragon. Bulldog just played towards the top side and get Baron.
I mean, Coward did a good job because he was pushing the waves bot lane, so someone had to go there.
Yeah.
Which meant they were down a member to contest, but Siege is starting up here by Bulldogs, and they're looking maybe to go all the way. You can see Coward in that top lane also shoving as a hook lands. Diablo throws out a bubble, does connect it on to the Spider, but going to take up to the skies for the moment. The repels into the knockout, they pull them away. Dragdar tries to get the damage down. Hemo Plague onto multiple members as Coward chunks out Diabolus. The Cataclysm comes from Ego Speed. The cat flashes away. They find themselves a kill.
Dragdar?
It's a 1-for-1. Dragdar needs to pop off. He goes golden in the fight already. The health bars for Bulldogs are low, and now Coward might just look to spell sling his way for some kills. Not going to chase for more. And Hybrid hold out into the Baron.
And with another mistake during the Baron power play, Bulldog, they lose 1-for-1 with still like a 5k advantage. They're losing that one. They need to get this inhibitor. They need to push the advantage without making another mistake.
Coward is doing so much work on this Rise right now. Dragdar unable to deal with the wave as it is going to be pushed into him. This Baron buff still up for a minute. You can see Diablo will be reviving nice and soon as a root does land onto Coward, and they are not going to be able to chase for more here. Zyko unable to find that assassination, does have that Void Rush, so could maybe find someone. He's not going to find it now.
It looked like they were going to reset and give up, but that TP top lane from Ego Speed going, no, we have to get something off the back of this, allows them to get back onto the map, get that top inhibitor, rotate into the mid, and now that 2 inhibitor power play off of the back of that lost fight, you have to say. Heads up play by Ego Speed.
The Phantom Dance has finally been picked up by Dragdar, but you've got a GA now to cut through onto Koki. He's so fed on this Sivir, he's so hard to deal with. And Dragdar just not had the performance we wanted from this Vayne. And we talked about it being like a big counter into the Sivir, just unable to kind of execute that now, as you've just fallen so far behind. And with the last of this Baron buff, we'll just about time out before they get onto the turret to do too much meaningful. But Zyko comes over, finds himself a knock up onto the cat, the flay, the hook goes down, and the cat will fall here.
Another
Cocoon
mistake.
Does connect.
They can't keep making these mistakes every single time they set up for a siege. This is just characteristic now of Bulldogs to continue doing this. It's like the 3rd or 4th time this has happened. And every single time, it's cost them an advantage. It's had forced them to step back. It's forced them to have to regroup. And now we have to see if these 2 inhibitors can be capitalized on enough.
Zyko, he's taking so much damage into
Howard's
the
out fine.
ulti from 1, and he even can't find it. They throw down the taunt, they get the resurrection out. Diablo looks for the portal jump paddle start combo onto Coward, who realm warps to safety. Bubble into the shield.
But look, they're all in the base.
Gets it, but they're getting sieged up onto the base. Coward buys so much time here for Bulldogs, and now Drugula has to somehow hold up versus the rest of the siege. He can force them away for the moment. You can see that flank by Blythe might just cost him his own life as the flag and drag has come forward. The cocoon goes wide. He has a blast cone away. Hybrid struggling for Coward on this Rise. They can't find the damage. They can't find these assassinations in time.
The overcommit onto Coward there. I was convinced the game was over for a moment. But instead, it is going to continue. Hybrid, they do stall out once more, but they lose their last inhibitor. Now with 3 inhibitors down, it's really hard for them to get back onto the map. You have to look at things like a Miracle Baron steal, because they're just never going to have that control of the map again without it.
I mean, the Elder Drake spawning up in 40 seconds could just spell the demise here for Hybrid.
How do you get into position? Like, at least you can think, maybe I can get over the back of a Baron pit. How do you get in position to contest Dragon now if you're Zyko? And it's near impossible with these super minions pounding down every lane.
It's going to be very, very hard for them to do so. Dragula is getting a lot of farm.
35 minutes.
Dragula, I don't know why I'm calling him Dragula. It's because there's a Vladimir on his team. And it's Dracula, right? Dragdar.
No, what are you talking about? Vladimir isn't a vampire. He's a blood mage.
Oh.
Unless you're playing China, of course, in which he's an oil mage, but that's a different story.
He literally has a Dracula skin.
Nosferatu. But no, he's not a vampire. He's a blood mage. But you're going to see this Elder Dragon go down, and it's really not all that much power for them with only the 90 true damage burn on.
They're getting
spells
Baron,
and
they're getting Elder.
Yeah, but this is the.
If Bulldogs can't win off this,
it's not that strong. But look at how much it denies now. Because if that went over to Hybrid, they could actually fight, even with this gold disadvantage, even with the item disadvantage. They can get a decent fight off. Now they have to just pray for a Miracle Baron steal.
Zyke has to somehow try and save the day here, but I just don't see how he can do it. He's standing on top of a ward for the moment. The bubble does connect. Diablo closing in, gets the paddle start to ego speed, chunks him low. They try to close that gap. Zyko maybe comes in. The steal's not going to be enough. Zyko will fall down. Baron and a kill for Bulldog. And they might just look to close here.
Yeah, that should be game now. 5v4, Baron and Elder. That has to be it.
Massive mess up by Zyko. The health bars are a little bit low for ego speed. Diablo might just be able to find an assassination if he's lucky on that Zoe. He's got
Hybrid,
a lot of damage
they have to hope
with.
for a miracle now if they want to come back in this.
You can see Coward walking the wave up. They've got Blyce. All 5 members of Bulldog are joining up. The bubble does connect onto
a wing
one.
and a prayer.
Flashes forward. In comes the wombo combo. It's do or die for Bot Hybrid. They give the taunt off with everyone. Diablo's low as Coward tries to solo him out. He does get himself the kill, but they're looking to pop off right here. The Resurrection's coming in. Oh, Dragdar finds a double kill. Finds a quadra kill. Coward is low. He gets the condemn. Dragdar with the pentakill.
And what a turnaround with just the Nexus left! Dragdar, he turns it in the fight when he has been so far down all game!
What did I say, Sin? If Bulldog can't close out with Elder and Baron, serious questions have to be raised.
And all 3 inhibitors are respawning!
Oh, Lord!
This is the turnaround they needed! The gold was so close already, only 3k difference in spite of all the control. And now Hybrid, they have a hope! They have that flag waving high. They have the Vayne. They have the flag waving high with the pentakill.
Holy moly, what a game too.
And Hybrid, they want to get this.
I don't want to actually discredit Bulldog there, by the way. I think Hybrid perfectly used their wombo combo and played that fight as well as they could.
Like, you literally had Calwood going 1v3 on the back lane throughout that entire fight. Only Dragdar was doing DPS on the other side, and he was able to do so much through the CC that they had that it was basically 3v1.
He didn't even QSS in that fight. He didn't even use his QSS.
He just bought it. He just bought it. He didn't even have it.
He had that earlier. He actually just bought a Death's Dance.
Death's Dance. Ballsy play. I like it.
Oh, man. This is exciting. So much to play for now. That bot lane inhibitor does have a little bit left. It's got 30 seconds.
No towers anywhere on the map.
This fight's going to have to be quick because they might just look to close here.
Okay, we see it was a really nice bubble that allowed them to start it and get on top of the ADC. They land all the CC in a combo, but look at Calwood here, forcing out Diablo. Heathen is over on that side as well and just allows Dragdar to capitalize on all these low health members because of all the damage done by Blyce. And it's a clean up pentakill.
This condemn would have, if it didn't go off, Dragdar would have died. That would have been end of the game.
And he's the last man standing against the tide of minions to save the game. Now all 3 inhibitors are up, but no towers. This is terrifying because you've got to look, double TP. So if they get even a slight advantage, double TP into the base.
I like that it says 30 seconds left of Baron buff. There is no Baron buff. That thing's gone.
They're all dead.
Alrighty, well.
This is tense though. We've got Dragdar. Can he do it again? Because a lot of that was off of Blyce's damage to set it up. A lot of it was off of the fact that Diablo landed a huge bubble that allowed Blyce and the Heathen to combo off, get all the members low, so that Dragdar could get those kills and now be back in the game in terms of damage.
Well, the bubble
now they've got that. They can try and win a fight just straight up. They don't need the cheese shenanigans. They don't need the perfect layered CC. They can just do it.
Hybrid pushing forward. They don't want to give that opening over to Bulldog. So there's a lot of wave clear they've got to work with into the Rise, into this Sivir bubble. Sorry, the paddle star doesn't quite find its mark. This Turret is being cleared out before the minions can get to it. Look at the pings. Ooh. Bated breath as we wait for this game. The pings towards the bot lane are coming down from members of Bulldog. They might just try and send someone into that wave, and look at Kunil on that Elise on the side. One big cocoon. Oh, that's so hard because Zoe's got cleanse, Dragdar's got cleanse. Dragdar's also got the QSS.
So now,
Bulldog,
they're trying to make something happen.
Splice on the flank. Here comes the knock-up. Ego Speed gets the dunk down. He's already low HP. Dragdar
land on the back line.
Through him, but Zyko onto the back line. A good hook does land, and actually it's a 1-for-1 trade. They're forcing the res out of Zyko. He can flash away to safety if needs be, as he does do. The hook connects, but they don't find more. A 1-for-1 trade.
Just the top laner's gone, but they have the control to wait for this Elder spawn. It's spawning very shortly. They have now in the positioning to be able to deny Kunal access to the back of that pit. If they can get this, they can perhaps look to win a fight just off the back of it. But all the same, if they give up too much mid-pressure, the fight just goes.
Even with the two-man taunt, the cat is low. He's going to try and save his life at the moment. Dragdar is able to get the kill. Now Kunal jumping in. They're trying to change it around, but look for Keiki on the side. Bubble's not going to quite find his mark on anyone. Coward stays alive, dodges away on the paddle star, and Dragdar going 1v1. Finds himself the Coquette. The cocoon goes wide. The cleanse comes out. Dragdar's alive. He's still going in the fight.
Can they do it?
To Kunal, but you got to look for Kogi.
How are they still alive?
Kunal finally goes down. Coward's up. There comes the teleport. Zyko looking for that knock-up. Ego Speed flashes away. The flag. The combo comes down. They get the kill. Dragdar's dead. Zyko launches into Coward. Finds himself a shutdown. Here comes Blythe. He's teleported back into the fight. This is absolutely mental. Ego Speed is going to jump in. Kogi goes down. And Hybrid might just have done it. They might just have closed this game out.
And 2 men against the world as 4 members go down. Ego Speed, the last member alive, but can they get the tower? Can they get through this? They're looking just at the Elder Dragon and this mid lane tower. They don't want to overforce, because if you overstep even slightly, you know, no towers left to fall back on. No safety left to fall back on. And one single slip-up could cost Hybrid the game. But Bulldogs are learning. You don't corner a wounded animal. Hybrid stepping up with their backs against the wall.
Dragdar has triple life steal. He's got so much sustain. Now the cat and Ego Speed are hanging about. The flag and drag in to the Baron pit. These health bars are low. He gets himself a 2-man cataclysm off. They're looking to get onto the Elder Drake. He gets the lantern out to safety. Hybrid secure the Elder Drake at 43 minutes onto the clock. They're clearing out the waves, but look at the pings. Everybody wants this Baron.
And they secure the Elder on all 5 members as they respawn. So everyone has this 3-stack Elder Drake heading in to the Baron. If they get into this area, they can get any sort of damage down in a fight. It is amplified massively by the true damage burn. And so, Hybrid, as we said, their backs against the wall. One fight. All it takes.
They need. Zyko has to be careful as he is alone. This Elder Drake buff is big here. Kunil misses out on the cocoon. Splice going to tank that up. Look at the party portal that could just come through here. They might just try to go for the back door if you're Bulldog.
Oh, they're going to rise ult.
They are. They're grouping up. This might just be it. They have to do this Baron so quick. It is liquefied. Hybrid with the Baron and Power recalls are trying to get on. Is this going to be game right here for Bulldogs? They've managed to get the base. The inhibitor's gone in. They've got the count. Bulldog bites back in game 2.
And they steal the game from right under Hybrid's nose after they fight right against the wall. Hybrid, they tried so hard, they fought for so long. But in the end, the Rise ult secures it.
Such a greedy Baron. I'm sorry, you know there's a Rise. That was actually stupid. That was straight up stupid.
You had no knowledge of where anybody was.
You had no towers in that game. All they had to do is take one inhibitor, what they're going to do very quickly at that point in the game, and you don't know where they are, and you go, you know, screw it, we'll just go for Baron.
And they've got a Sivir as well, so even without using the Rise ult, they could just run it up mid.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel in their head they were like, oh, we'll just get the Baron and Cat powered recalls off.
But such an intense back and forth game now. And Bulldog, they couldn't quite get control for long enough. It allowed Hybrid to get back into it. And Hybrid, they capitalized on the advantages they built. They were able to get back into it, but they made that slip up. We said one mistake was all it costed. And one mistake it was that cost them the game.
Yeah, that pentakill, that pullback might have been flashy, but they lost too much in the process before that happened, and because of that, Bulldogs knew when to pull that trigger and close that game out.
Bulldog just needed to stay alive for long enough to wait for a mistake from Hybrid. Inexperienced roster, like we said, fairly young roster. And when they make those kind of mistakes, that's where a team as experienced as Bulldog can capitalize.
Massive game. Game 2 coming forward there as we tie up the score 1 apiece between both Hybrid and Bulldog. But, you know, we still got more to go. We still got that game 3. That's where I'm looking now towards, because if you're Bulldog, if you're Hybrid, that game is just a massive shake to your mental for both of them. Because Hybrid now know they were pulling that game back. They actually were in a position to win it. And just one greedy misstep cost them the game.
I think they've learned they can't just abandon the bot lane. They can't just let the bot lane sit for that long. It was a pentakill. That was what it took to get back into the game and just do even damage to the opposing ADC. That's how desperate they were.
I mean, boys, my producer just went tweet in my ears. Like, what do you want, a bird? Oh, there we go. We got a tweet to bring up. Cool. Yeah, you know what?
You know what they do?
That is... fair enough.
You know what? Yeah, sure. I'd buy that album.
Yeah. I like some jazz.
It sounds like something they'd sell at Starbucks, though. Like that kind of...
Wait, do they sell albums at Starbucks?
Yeah, they do.
I don't go into
easy
Starbucks.
Listening. It's
I mean,
all
Spotify has that. You don't need to go buy it from Starbucks.
Yeah, but not everybody wants to listen to ads. Instead, they'll buy something from somewhere that's selling an album as an ad.
Wait, does Spotify still have ads? I thought you got rid of that.
I mean, if you have premium, yeah.
Yeah.
I use someone else's, so I'm fine. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you also. I bet you're one of those guys whose Netflix account is ad user on someone else.
No, at least I have my own Netflix. I can say that much.
Okay, so you got that much. But I mean, explosive game 2. It looks like we're sticking to the script as well. The open team get themselves the first win, and the UK team bite back. But yesterday we did see the script get thrown out the window, and actually Phelan did get themselves the win over Enclave. So we're actually starting to break that script a little bit here.
But is it going to be like the script that we know, where Bulldog end up just pulling this out, getting the 2-1, and we just all sit going, yeah, it's the result we expected, maybe not in the method we expected, all the same, but... Bulldog, they need to prove that they can step up, because right now they're just relying on the mistakes of Hybrid.
I mean, I've got some questions about the early for Bulldogs. You picked an Elise. The Elise got completely walked over by the Rek'Sai. It just looks so good for
First
the side
of like 1 minute or 2 minutes-ish.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just proactive play. You get the 2 kills. You go and translate into a Rift-Tailed, take a kill and a turret in the top lane, then go down and get a double kill within the blue side jungle. Just the early rotations in the jungle for Hybrid was just so good in that second game.
Better, yeah.
And you know, while the weaknesses came from the bot lane for Hybrid in game 2, those slowly got eradicated because they just stepped up. The Vayne gets the pentakill. You're starting to look stronger. And, you know, coming into this next game, it's a matter of kind of just making sure you nail it. Think about don't let that last game get to you, because you know there's going to be lots of like, oh, if we just hadn't done this, we would have won the game. Or if, oh, you know, if we, we went here or we warded better here, we wouldn't have lost a pick, but maybe we could have translated into something. You know, you can't let that happen. It's a full mental reset coming into game 3, because this is now it. It's a best of 1 at this point. You're not in a best of 3 anymore. You just have 1 game to go. Whoever wins goes through into the next stage of the tournament, and we'll be taking on one of our next teams. But we're going to cut to a quick break. And when we'll be back with game 3 of the series, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.